What do US companies mainly look at in a resume?
A hiring manager mainly looks at a resume, like they look for it, they scroll over it in 5 seconds and they're looking for a few things if they can immediately catch that. And the main thing that they want to see is what kind of skills of experience that I want to have in a candidate in this role does this person bring. So my tip there is make sure that those are very prominent on your resume. It's very okay to just include a list of the hard skills that you might have or the soft skills that you bring. I think having those very, very clear and upfront in your resume is super helpful for a hiring manager.
And that's then your first point of contact. Then they look at your motivational letter, right? Then they,
If sort of, to be very honest, not many hiring managers make it to a motivation letter. You should really, really focus on having a great resume that shows that you have the skills and experience that are required for the role. That's really the most important thing that a hiring manager is looking at.
Yeah, and then sort of from your experience, then the main differences between resume writing between here and the Netherlands?
When I put my first American resumes together, I talked with friends that worked and lived here for a bit, and I made them look at my resume. And their tip that always stuck to me and that I still recognize when I hire people here is that Americans are very good at showing results of the work that they've done, and companies are looking for that type of information. Where I would say the resumes in the Netherlands or in Europe, you can just list the responsibilities that you had while you were in an internship or while you were doing some project at a university. We would list what you've done. And in America, we'd love to see what was the impact of what you've done. So that friend really helped me translate the work I did as a student to what was the impact of that work that you did. And that was a big game changer for me when I realized, I should really rewrite my resume, not to list responsibilities, but to really focus on the impact and the results of my work.
Do you have an example that you could?
Yeah, during my studies, I founded a social initiative, and that was about reducing food waste. And for example, on my Dutch resume, that was just listed what I did to do. So I launched a campaign, I organized an event. And when I switched that to my US resume, I focused more on I organized an event with that many visitors and this media coverage, ultimately leading to XYZ. So it really helped the reader understand what the result was of the work that I did.
And in terms of privacy in a resume, what should you add? What should you not add?
The rules about including personal information in the US are a little bit different than in the Netherlands. So I would remove all personal identifiable information, like just your email address, just very general information, but don't go about gender, don't go about date of birth, like all of that stuff that we would normally include. Just stick to your name, email address, where you live right now. That's the only information we want to see on a US resume.
Yeah, so it's like your name, your email, your LinkedIn profile.
That's it.
And then so 4 tips that you have for someone that's setting up their resume.
Okay, 4 tips for a great resume. 1, we already talked about that, make it impact focused, show the results of your work, not only your responsibilities. 2, what I really like if people put that on their resume is sort of a personal introduction, call it a bio, where you share a little bit about yourself and what you bring to a company or a role. Add to that maybe a list of your key hard skills and key soft skills. I really love to see those as well. Then I also think it's very valuable to share your resume just with a friend so they can read through it as well. A second pair of eyes is very important. The last tip is channel your inner designer. There is a very clean resume does a lot. If you can just easily look over it and find the key information you're looking for, and there's no distracting different font sizes, different weird colors or whatever, that really helps a hiring manager to focus on what matters most. So maybe ask a friend that's really good in that, or just buy a template online. That really helps to paint the picture that you want to show to the world about yourself.
What are some of the pitfalls when you write a resume? Where could you go wrong?
Where could you go wrong if you write a resume? I think when I put a resume away is mostly because they're wordy, they're super lengthy, they're not to the point. I can't then find the information I'm looking for within a few seconds. Design again is a thing there as well. If it's poorly designed, sort of distracts me. That's super important. I think those two things, making sure it's concise, it's clear, it's impact focused, are most important when you.
And I know you said one important thing of people from the Netherlands tend to be very humble.
Yeah, if you apply to companies in the US, the story is true. Yeah, they really make everything bigger here. Also their experience, also their skill sets. Like, don't be afraid to blow it up a little. Yeah. Be bold. Make a story about yourself. That don't be too humble when you do that. For example, as a student, you might think, well, I just completed my bachelor, I'm in my master's, what do I have to bring? Think big. Think about the things that you did for your study association. Think about the extracurricular projects that you did. Think about a job that you had while studying. What made you stand out there, and highlight those things as well.